This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago, coming from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z in the house. We got JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football, and we got Stevie B for the No Water Weekend podcast. This is episode 205, brought to you by 606 Media, true Chicago sports fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. You got to get one. Type in the keyword True Chicago, use our promo code TrueFan15. That is TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. And get 15% off the entire thing. Get a couple of our shirts, couple of some cool stuff they have on there. They got hats, they got hoodies, they got everything. So go over there. It's gritclothingco.com and get some clothing and use TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Get that now. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or the X, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. What do you got to do, Steven?
Smash and subscribe.
There you go, baby. And you can always give us 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. If you're listening to the audio version of the show, you can also, write a nice little comment for us and shoot us up on the charts. It really helps us out. So you can do that. And you can also subscribe on anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. You can subscribe for as little as 99 cents a month. Very, very cheap. No inflation there. You haven't done so. We have other shows on the 606 Media family. We got Stevie B's show. He's got the No Water on the Weekend with Sean and himself. Pop culture podcast that talks about funny stuff and anything that Stevie B finds to his humor. And he posts every Monday afternoon, Monday evening. So go ahead and subscribe. Show some love for that episode.
Yeah,
and,
I like love. I love being loved.
Yeah, he needs all the love you can give him. We also have another show in Podcast with Big Z where I interview interesting people that come across great stories. Fun time. There's not a bad episode. There's about 8 or 9 episodes up there now. There'll be another one next Monday. I'll take this week off. Just because I have a lot of stuff going on, especially since I'm going to Bears camp tomorrow. So I won't be editing tomorrow. So we'll save that episode with Jessica Milagros, plus size model, been on Big Brother, some acting, JC Penney commercials, all types of stuff. She'll be on next week. And then I have a pretty big guest. As soon as it gets recorded, then I can let you guys know who it is. But go ahead and Podcated with Big Z. It's on all platforms. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on listen on Spotify or your Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to. Without further delay, episode 205. We're calling this one Trade Bait with all the MLB trades that have been happening. And we're going to talk about our Chicago Bears. I love it, Chicago Bears, because it is game week. This week they play on Thursday. They play the Texans in the Hall of Fame game. And we're going to talk about our inductees. We're going to talk about the game. What do we expect? How long the offense will be out there. We'll talk about Chicago baseball. So both teams are really sucking it up. Sox have 14 games, looking for number 15. That's right. Quinceañera. They're trying to get that quinceañera. The Cubs, made some moves, but grass is green, water's wet, dogs bark, wind blows. And they're losing as well. And then we'll wrap up the show with our favorite staple. What are you watching that isn't sports? But first, let's start off with our baseball segment in 3 Up and 3 Down with our Chicago Cubs. So 3 up and 3 down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3, strike.
All right, boys. Now I'm going to let this go to the Cub fans here. Thanks, Irza, for chiming in. We'll get to you in a second. JC and Stevie B, what's going on with the Cubbies?
Well, I like to say that we won a series against Kansas City. That's a positive, right? Right, JC? You think that's
Sure.
I mean, I think that's
Yeah,
positive.
I mean, we got to start, I guess we're buyers, not sellers. So we definitely need to start putting some wins together if that's
No.
the case.
Still have
For
one more
sure.
day. Still have one more day to be sellers.
That's true, but I don't know. Well, what we're talking about is Christopher Morale got a little emotional. He thanked every Cubs fan and on social media, and I was torn but to see what we got, and especially to think about an actual true third baseman who's actually going to play that position every day. He hits the ball. He's actually, doing pretty well. Maybe Tampa Bay. I think everything what we do trade wise with Tampa, it always bites us.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to see the growth of Morale. I think he's gonna tweak something and figure it out, and then this guy's hitting 30 homers in like 3 months or 2 months, something like that. Best of luck to him. It's just hard for him to play that position consistently. He has some great throws, but he's also defensively not doing so well in that position. So hopefully Tampa could actually, fix him on that. But overall, I mean, we traded Morale, Hunter, Biggie, and right-hand pitcher Ty Johnson, and to get Isaac P. Pronounce it for me, Big Z.
Wait, before you get that, do you think Hunter Biggie went over to Jed Hoyer and said, can you give me one more chance?
Probably. Knocked over the front door and busted right in.
That was a big BIG reference. But,
Yeah.
but that's all right. Our listeners and watchers got the reference. Ty Johnson and Hunter Biggie went over along with Morel. Morel never really should have been playing third base. He was a defensive liability there. There was also no protection for him. It just didn't work out for him. I loved him. He's one of my favorite Cubs of recent memory. And unfortunately, there was no room in the outfield, and you had to give up something to give something. And you got is it Isaac or is it Isaac? I don't know how you pronounce his name because everyone pronounces their name differently. But Paredes, he comes to Chicago. He's a hitter. His defense is a little better than Morel, but he's not, he's not Aramis Ramirez. He's not, Chris Bryant at third in his early years. That's not what you got. You got a bona fide hitter. He's going to be in the middle of the lineup for a while. So expect him to. He should. I'm not sure he's there today or if he's starting tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow. I think it is tomorrow.
Yeah, wait for that one day for everything to be completed. So yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is when you trade with Tampa Bay, beware. I mean,
Matt Garza.
Time, you traded Chris Archer. Chris Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So beware when you trade with Tampa. They know what they're doing, and they know they do it on low budget.
I mean, yeah, exactly. They take players that are, minor league contracts that have some time on their still on them, and then they figure it out, and then they trade to get more prospects. They never keep a superstar, and that's just Tampa. Right. But I will say this with Morale, a great memory of him is when he hit that walk-off on the White Sox at Wrigley. I think that was my favorite memory. I think that was a lovely memory. And I remember where I was and what time it was. I was sitting in my car.
He had a couple walk-offs.
But that one mostly was my
he
favorite.
Had some more memorable walk-offs than the one against the White Sox.
Yeah, but I was in my car watching it before I left bowling, and I remember seeing it screaming. Like I was a kid again, like seeing Santa. It was just magical, just the moment, the lights, the moment was too big for this guy, especially that night. So I could watch that over and over.
I bet you could. JC, how are you feeling about your Cubbies now?
I mean, it's nice to have a third baseman that can actually play third base. I played third base as a youngster, and it's called the hot corner for a reason. It's
what a stud.
When a hit comes your way, it's coming in fast.
Yep.
So you gotta have a head on your shoulders and know how to feel the ball, which Morel, that wasn't exactly a strong suit. No. Looking at their statistics batting, I mean it's very similar. I mean, you got Morel with 43 runs, 51 RBIs. Here's the big one is that Morel has 7 stolen bases. All right. Is it Paredes? Is that how you say it?
Paredes.
Yeah.
Again, 41 runs, 55 RBIs, 0 stolen bases. So, I mean, that's a thing is, the stolen bases is going to be an issue, but his batting average is a 2.45. Says Morel, who's got a batting average of 0.199. So, that's going to be an upgrade, not only as a batting average, but also as a fielder. So, I don't know much about the pitchers we gave up.
Biggie was up and coming. I mean, again, he was
Yeah.
somebody. You have to give up some talent for what you got.
Yeah.
He came up for a cup of coffee. He was out of the bullpen. He did okay. Nothing to be excited about because he's too young in his career. Tyler Johnson, I didn't really get to see much of him. Part of his AAA stuff.
But to me, like Morel was more like he should be a DH. Like
You're right. I agree.
Like you can't hide him on the field. So to me, like again, he kind of belongs. What is this?
This is my friend Chuck from Wedding Band, one of the best bands out here in Chicago. He's chiming in. He said, "Did you compare yourself to a third baseman in the major leagues?"
You're darn right. I went to Cooperstown, baby. What did you do? Anyway, no, like I said, it is definitely an upgrade at third base. So I'm happy there. As for Nate Pearson, the other guy that we have traded,
yeah,
a 5.63 ERA. That is
right up the Cubs alley.
Not exactly the greatest thing you want to see.
He's definitely not.
40 innings with 51 strikeouts. But yeah, like I said, it's 0 wins with 1 loss. But like I said, that's 5.63 ERA. It's like, oof.
Yeah,
It's rough to hear.
I will say this: Patrick Wisdom hit that grand slam, which was nice to see him hitting. Definitely sparked an energy on that team for that series. And hey, they took 2 out of 3, and I'll take that any day. Right now, they're playing Cincy, and it doesn't look so good right now. So
let's welcome our friend and for other 606 media member, Ivan the Bear.
The Bearable.
The Bear. It's small writing. I can't see that.
That's all good.
Ivan, thanks for coming on. I know you just finished your show with the Tape Never Lies. You did a Bear show, so that's why you were a little tardy, but it's excused. But you being another big Cub fan, what is your interpretation of what they've done with the last couple of trades?
First of all, what's up, guys? How are you? Hope everybody's
what's up,
doing
man?
okay.
Long time no see.
I know I haven't been on here in a while. I think that I have. Okay, Morel is a nice dude, right? I just
it's real funny.
I don't have any type of connection there right now. Like for me, everybody can go. Like nobody is said. Like there's nothing bolted down to the floor right now.
Everything but the Ivy.
Everything but the Ivy, because I'm looking for a spark. Right? Like I'm looking for something to turn this team around. And I'm not saying necessarily that they're going to go and become a playoff team, next week. But hell, at least they did something. I'm waiting for. I've been waiting for this move for about a month. Like somebody do something, right? Yes, somebody do something.
Are you awake?
And
poke the bear, the baby bear.
Yes, wake him up. But going and getting Paredes, going and getting a guy that's an established infielder, not a guy that's I'll credit to Morel. Like he's not a bad human being whatsoever. He's not a bad player. He's just raw still. And if the Cubs are trying to go ahead and win, they can't go ahead and justify having this guy that is a project at third base. It just doesn't. You can't continue to do this if you want to save your job.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. He is raw and he's a project. But the Cubs put him as a project at third base because he's a natural outfielder, right? But there's no spots in the outfield for him to play. And that's the problem, that there's not really a spot for him to play, and he's not good at third base. You've got like 5 first basemen, so you can't put him there. DH would have been an option, but then who you rotate out of the DH position, then you're missing out on some power, or lack thereof that you don't have. So, I mean, while the Cubs are doing these small moves, what I do not like is they have not just won the bullpen in the right way that we should have seen them address it. But more importantly, they didn't address the catcher position. 2 catchers were moved, and it just, I'm like, they gave up nothing for these catchers. Why weren't the Cubs in these conversations for an actually established catcher?
I don't know.
I'm with these guys. I'm with Steven and JC. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
And it's
Silence
very
speaks
frustrating.
volumes.
It's very frustrating because I don't think anybody here believes Miguel Amaya is the guy.
He's not the answer.
You know, and even if he stood on the team, he would be the backup, in my opinion. Like Miguel Amaya, the backup, I think that would be fitting for him. Like he can't hurt you there, like but this everyday thing, it just hasn't panned out. So them not looking for a veteran, and I'm not talking about top of the market, top of the line catcher. I'm just talking about a guy that's consistent enough defensively and could, possibly hit you a couple of extra base hits while he's on the team, maybe one or two here and there, some pop. Yeah, but you get none of that with the catchers that we've had on this team.
Yeah, Chuck's got comments today, and if you want to read this one, I thought it was pretty funny. While you're reading that, the Red Sox traded for Blue Jays catcher Jansen. The Rangers traded for catcher Kelly. You could have traded for a McCann, who literally caught a ball with his face while he was at bat, and then finished catching all 9 innings.
Yeah, his nose, man,
catcher, who was a badass when he was with us. You could have went after him. I mean, he's not their number one catcher. I mean, again, there were so many catchers out there, and I know we talked about the catcher from Colorado, but he was on the IL, and then he's been struggling. It still would have been a better option than Amaya. You've got to address these holes, and it's inept on how the GM has really sat on his hands, and the president has sat on his hands and not done anything to address these holes in the bullpen. What is the middle bullpen and the end of the bullpen, which has been decent in the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna give them their props, but at the same time, you need to always address the bullpen if you're going for a playoff push, and you need a battery to give your pitchers that spark. So it definitely it's just head scratching, because we don't know if the Cubs are really buyers or sellers, and we won't find out till 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't think they move. If they're going to move somebody, it's going to be a lesser known prospect, right? And if they are, kind of held to the fire and said, hey, put somebody better, I don't think they go dipping in the top 10. Maybe I don't even think they dip in the top 20. I think you're looking for other prospects and guys that are quality players that aren't big names to come and bring in and see if that could help the team move forward. But I mean, Jameson Tyone is still questionable. Like I don't know what the score is right now of the game. I know he's pitching tonight.
Yeah, it's 6-0.
Yeah, Jameson Tyone could go.
You're right.
I mean, like I said, everybody. Like there's and it's not that he's he's been pitching better his
in the mid pitch
years. Right. Get the fuck out. He's been pitching better, really good this year, but he hasn't been the guy in my eyes that was going to be one of the guys that takes us to the next level. For some reason I've never really loved Jameson Tyone, right? Whether he was on the Pirates, the Yankees, I never really had this Jameson Tyone's going to come in here and we're going to, we're locked down now whenever he pitches. It's not realistic in my eyes.
Yeah, so it looks like if the Cubs are not going to use any other prospects to get better right away, I think they're going to keep their prospects, which is Cade Horn, Matt Shaw, Owen Casey, James Torontos, and Moises Ballesteros. Those are their top 5 guys, and they're not. They do have one of the best. What
about Alcantara? Is Alcantara?
Alcantara's number 6. He's number 6 right now. Yeah, I went top 5. I mean, if you want to go Michael Arias, who else is on there? Fernando Cruz. There's some of these guys I don't know there, and there's some guys that have come up or have been talked about. But a lot of these guys, they're not ready. And Brendan Davis has been up. He's their number 22 guy. Trying to look for anybody else. No, that's about it. Oh, Caleb Killian came for a cup of coffee. Yeah, but there's really,
there's really not much.
There's really not. I mean, again, they're ranked one of their top 5, systems in Major League. The prospects are suspects. I've been saying that forever since the beginning of this show. Until they're proven in the Major League for multiple years, they're still suspects. Look at what the White Sox did. Right, you got a third baseman that hasn't played all year, suspect. He really hasn't played a full season. You got Spider-Man. You know, I don't even know if he's playing. Apparently, that's what they say. Eloy's playing, but I've never seen him play because all he does is hit ground balls. So again, they're suspect until they're really good players, and if they're not going to be good players, you got to ship them out of here.
Hit the road, Jack.
Yeah, I mean the only thing looking at Ballesteros, you know, they have him listed as a catcher, so maybe he is going to be the long term. You know, what they're looking at down the road as a catcher for our Cubs, but you know, he is 5'7" and 195 pounds, so that's a little
a little light.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be hitting the ball over the fence all too much.
No, not at all. Israel saying trade Bellinger to Philadelphia for prospects. I don't know if Philadelphia is in a need for an outfielder because you got Bryce Harper at first now. So I'm not sure what their outfield situation is.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go for that one.
And New York went after Jazz Chisholm from Florida. They got him up there wearing number 13, and he's like the speedster that they just put in, mix and match throughout the games. You know, hey, you're going over 4, put Jazz in. He's a spark guy for the Yankees, and that's what they need because they only have really 2 hitters over there. So there's a lot of trades that are going to continue to be made. I just hope that the White Sox and the Cubs actually capitalize on being good sellers because you do have some talent that you are able to sell.
Yeah.
Trade Nico to the Dodgers or the Braves.
Dodgers don't need any more help.
The Dodgers.
So,
the Dodgers are going to keep going into the White Sox well and getting whatever the hell they can want.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Cubs salary, and I mean, like, you got Ian Happ making $21 million, Suzuki making $21 million, Tyon making 18, Hendricks 16.5, Horner 11.5. So I mean, those are your top guys other than Bellinger at 27.5.
I still think they spent $226 million, I believe, this year.
Yeah, they did. And like I said, I don't know if, I mean, I would be okay with offloading Hap. I mean, like I said, he's not produced that much that I would miss him that much.
No,
how about you guys?
You got PCA, which is the rookie that just came up and he was highly touted. So he's out in center field, and that's the reason that you didn't trade him, because they put him out in center field. Here we go. Wasn't Chris Morel the new Ryan Terry? Yeah, the right. He's white. He drives balls. I hated. Jesus. Someone did not.
Who heard him today? He must be having a bad Monday. I mean, I hate Mondays too, but man.
Oh my God, Chuck, coming for him. Again, I think the Cubs will be selling, and I think they will be addressing everything during the offseason, because I don't think they have anything to do right now. I don't think they have enough. They're going to get minor leaguers for whatever pitching they sell off. Christopher Morel's brother hit a home run yesterday, and Ivan took a shit, and Steven has ass hickeys from being in the toilet that long. I mean, it
happens, man.
Did I take a shit yesterday?
Make sure your bowel movements are okay. Speaking of bowel movements, let's talk
White Sox.
the White Sox.
All right, yeah. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
Oh, you want the song? Here we go.
I do want it.
Okay, YouTube will flag it, so I can't play it that long.
Yeah, that's excuse.
Yeah,
nice excuse.
Yeah, the White Sox. Yeah. Well, here we are again with another losing streak. I hate Cub fans, and I'm one. I hate Sox fans, and I am one. I hate baseball. It's Bears season starting Thursday, man. That's all we're worried about. Yeah, we're at another losing streak. Again, we've matched our 14-game losing streak. If anything, we're consistent just at losing. 16 sweeps this entire season. Clevenger declared that he's out for the season with another injury.
He declared himself out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out.
Oh my God.
He was like, Kramer put the money on the counter. I'm out. Just walked out. Oh man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then we got some monkey wrenches that have been thrown in today. And I was writing this at 2:00, and then a whole bunch of news broke. Specifically, let's get into the trade. I think I have a thing. Yeah.
Did you like the video I sent you with?
Oh, that was awesome.
SpongeBob
That was
meme?
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. The White Sox made a trade, and I put it up here on the screen. The Dodgers are receiving right-handed pitcher Michael Kopech, utility Tommy Edman from St. Louis, Tommy Pham from the White Sox, and Eric Fetty are going to St. Louis. Miguel Vargas, who was top 3 in the system for the Dodgers, he's been up this season, but hasn't got playing time. He was ahead of who's your first baseman? Michael Busch. He was ahead of him in the rankings. And then 19-year-old Alexander Albertus and 19-year-old Haral Perez are coming over. Again, I really thought that they would have got more for Pham and for Fetty. I think Fetty was a good asset. He's controlled for 2 years. Pham, he's getting, he's just a rental because he's done after this year. But right now, it's just like, is Crochet going to get traded? Is Robert going to get traded? Are we going to give away Eloy Jimenez for a bag of hot chips? It really depends. Like, what is going to happen with the White Sox? And I got a little video here. I think I have it up here. Yeah, I do have it up here. And this is Chris Getz addressing what happened with Crochet today. So let's play that.
It makes sense. I think we understand. Why a stance would be taken like that. Now, how you go about expressing that is what was, a bit hurtful, quite honestly, considering I felt like we could have handled it a little bit differently and still, I think everyone accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. But Garrett's a very talented arm, and he's just getting his starting career going. He's looking out for his long-term well-being. We fully understand and support that, and will continue to do so. But the belief that we didn't have his best intentions in mind, I think, was what I was a little surprised by with how it was handled.
All right. So before I let the boys chime in on this debacle, and it is a debacle, is that they made it clear that they are going to trade Garrett Crochet, the best pitcher that you just drafted 3 years ago. You're the best pitcher that you have on your staff, the best talent that you have on this team, under control for another 2 years for $800,000 a year. And you're saying now we're going to trade him? You say that early in the season so that everybody knows that you're going to trade him. Where is the value in that? 2, why am I not going to make my own demands as a player, talk to my agent and say, you know what? If they want to trade me and they're going to get a bag for my talents that I busted my ass on this year, I want my bag. I want my money. I want them to re-sign me with a new contract if I get traded to a team. And if they don't want to re-sign me, then I'm going to go into my clause that I had for the innings that I'm not supposed to be pitching, which is already over. And I'm not pitching in the playoffs for you guys then. I don't know. I understand both sides. I really understand both sides. Crochet as a player, protecting himself. The White Sox trying to maximize on what they can get return for an amazing pitcher. But White Sox, how do you fucked up this entire trade value for one of the best pitchers?
Well, it's the White Sox.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go, Steven.
I mean, honestly, again, Big Z, what you're saying with the whole, I get both sides, right? But also, I think of it as, like, let's say, hypothetical, he goes to the Dodgers or he goes to a playoff contending team.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to pitch in the playoffs, what kind of message does that send to the rest of the guys in the ball club? Like,
well, remember, he just had Tommy John. So he's on inning restrictions from his doctor. So that's part of it.
I mean, if you get a chance to even play in the postseason, because he's never even seen a playoff picture. So I get the aspect of him, but then I don't know. I feel like it sends a weird message in the clubhouse as a player, like you're holding out. And even if he was good to go, right? Like if he's healthy, he's good. He feels good. He maybe let's say he takes a week off, right? Get ready for the postseason, doesn't pitch. I mean, you're going to be well rested. You might be a little out of tune, but I just think it sends a weird message to the ball club. I would, again, yes, get your bag, and same thing with the White Sox, but it doesn't look good for both sides.
Not good
And
optics, and that's what that's what the White Sox are good at, messing up optics. That's what they're known for. Every aspect from top to bottom is messing up optics. Ivan, you got something?
Yeah, for both sides, right?
Yeah.
I think Crochet has the right to shut it down if he wants to. If they've given him this restriction, right? They made this clear. You're only pitching this much. Now you're going and saying you're going to trade him without the guarantee that he's going to get a contract after that season, after next season. And the fact that he's on this pitching restriction is, glaring, because it's like, yo, you're saying that you're limiting him because you are afraid if he goes too far with it, he might re-injure himself again. That's pretty much what they're saying.
Right.
So I think it's a genius move by Garrett Crochet. Obviously, it's kind of like Steven said, it's a weird. I understand it, but yeah, it sets a weird precedent. I feel like in the locker room, but nonetheless, like if they're going to send you off and you don't have anything guaranteed, and you're going to another team and you don't know how they're going to try to use you as a fucking workhorse,
Yeah,
and you're already on an innings restriction,
yeah,
you got to take care of yourself at a certain point. And these teams will use you to get that World Series. Like you will be used constantly.
Chapman is a good example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, if he gets traded, any of those teams, whether it's Atlanta, it's Boston, it's the Orioles, any one of those contenders, they're going to use him in the bullpen because he's got or not minute restriction, but inning restriction. The problem with Garrett, he's already said, he's come out and said, I am a starting pitcher. I do best when I have my routine of 5 days in between, and I know how to pitch. Being a starting pitcher, being a reliever is more detrimental to that elbow because he's going out there trying to pitch 101, 104 and trying to strike out and blow out his arm. It's going to blow out. It's very simple. Yes. Chuck's over here saying, talking about Strasburg. Exactly. You can't go back and forth with, guys that throw that violently. It doesn't. Strasburg's out of the league because of that. Because they used him in the pen and they put him on inning restriction, then brought him back. And then you can't yo-yo these guys. You really can't yo-yo these guys. And it's getting frustrated with, again, I'm not a fan of Chris Getz, never was a fan of him as a player, but the trade market is heating up. MLB and the Sox are trying to make all the moves possible. We made a couple moves today, and I know we're trying to turn this team over as fast as possible because that was Reinsdorf's saying. Oh, Chris Getz is here because he knows the organization. He's been with the organization in the minor leagues, and he knows what we need, and he's the man for that. We're going to find out this season. Is it really him pulling the strings? Is it La Russa? Is it Reinsdorf saying get rid of all the high contracts, that quote unquote high contracts? Because we really don't have any. Benintendi should be the first one moved if that's the case. $75 million is the highest contract we've ever given out. And it's just so frustrating because you could have had Crochet, you could have had Cease, who, by the way, this week threw a no-hitter. Threw a
Good for him.
Oh,
Good
great
for him.
Talk about the things that, like, so many bad things happen to the Sox that are just like, it's just like that. Like, the guy throws a fucking no-hitter, and you're looking at the White Sox like, yo, he was just on this team 3 years ago, and he's been on fire ever since. What was it, 2 years ago or 1 year?
No, this year. He traded him in spring training.
That's right. I feel like he's been gone.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been gone forever. Like but still, nonetheless, he's not on your team anymore, and you're like, yo, this guy was going to be one of our anchors with the guy like Crochet, with a guy. So, like I said, whenever they decided to move from Cease, that was pretty much when you should have been like, all right, well, we got to start moving everybody else. And I know it's like, even with Crochet being as young as he is, he's got to be gone too, in my eyes. Like, regardless of this innings, you got to find a way to make it work. Because if you can't, like, if the bag for him is so grand that like it has to be done, like you got to find a way if you're the White Sox, because first of all, you're losing. I think you're losing the faith in the fan base's faith in you has been lost. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to gain that back.
Why do you think Big Z's hat's turned the other way?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly why I turned it the other way. I didn't want that on screen. Like it's very disheartening because the White Sox fans are passionate. They do support their team. You know, we get shit on by the Cubs fans, like, oh, you guys don't show up. No, would you show up for that crap show? No, you wouldn't. Okay, right during the rebuild, before before the glory days in 2016, when you guys were almost losing 100 games, you guys weren't showing up either, and rightfully so.
Actually, I was still there.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
Real quick, the new Cub, the new guy for the Cubs, Pearson, just had a pretty much a 1-2-3 inning.
there we go.
So looking good.
yeah. Looking on the bright side.
Very much looking on the bright side.
6-0, but looking good.
Yeah, one good inning, one good one.
There you go. Yeah. So I mean, again, there's talks about a new manager. This came out, and I want to play this for you guys, and I know you're gonna chuckle really, really hard on this.
Oh, I will.
This video. Give me a second because I'm a little technology slow. Here we go.
I was in Chicago all week. Had no discussions about being the manager. Would I take the managerial job? I mean, I would love to interview for it, or possibly have an opportunity to try to fix this organization, because it's not good right now, or at least help fix it somehow. But yeah, this is interesting to me that this kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know, where it came from or what, but they have a manager. I guess they're going to fire the manager. People know things that no one else knows there, because Pedro Grifol sure acts like he's still the manager.
You haven't been interviewed?
No, they have a manager.
I know.
I haven't gone out of my way to talk to anybody about this job. I haven't done anything. I mean, I was in town for a golf tournament. I did the Cubs game last Saturday. I did the White Sox game on Saturday. The way that went, I surely wasn't treated like somebody that they wanted to be around for a long time. I waited to come on here to discuss it, but no one has approached me about this job. No one has talked to me about this job. I heard some other names that were mentioned for possibly getting this job, but it wasn't me. But yeah, I mean, if a team calls you to be their manager, it's hard to not at least accept an interview and at least sit down and talk to them about it, because there's only 30 of those jobs and they're pretty coveted.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna let you guys go first. I'll finish this out.
Well, AJ, I've grown to respect the man more as he's been a voice for the White Sox, and when he's on Chicago radios, he just has a great personality now. I think we see a lot more instead of the baseball side. But anyway, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed for him to be the manager. I think it would be a great idea if he had the opportunity to interview. If you're going to hire anyone in the organization like Jerry does, why not go to this guy? But I mean, if you're going to do anything like that, I get it. But I don't know what other coaches you're going to go after, because again, what you're saying is, does Tony have any pull in this? Is he still there? Right? Is he pulling the strings, the puppet master? Is Jerry?
No, they're holding Tony up right now. That's Tony being held up as the puppet.
Exactly.
As the puppet master right now.
With a scotch or a beer in his hand. I don't know what to expect when it comes to these manager positions, but I would say AJ, if he gets the opportunity to take it, I don't have a problem with it. I think he'd do a great job. But I don't know. That's all I got to say. That's my piece.
JC?
I was going to say, I mean, it would be like to me, it would be a David Ross situation where, he's going to fill in for the 2-3 years you're rebuilding. And then hopefully when you're done rebuilding, you're going to go find a serious candidate. That's the only thing I could realistically see happening, is like, hey, you know what? This is going to be a tough time. we need someone to do the job, and no serious candidate is going to take us seriously and give us 3 years of their life, while we rebuild this and retool and whatever. So they're going to have to put together something. And like I said, it's going to be an unlikely candidate, kind of like David Ross was for us.
Ivan.
I don't see it as a Ross situation. I see it as an Ozzy situation. I see Brzezinski coming in here with the same attitude, the same grit, the same mentality that Ozzy Guillen would come in here with. The White Sox don't like to be told they're wrong as an organization. They don't like to be told, for whatever reason.
Yep.
The amount of years that Jerry spent watching the Brooklyn Dodgers in Brooklyn is, more, it's just more important than what actually is the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, his knowledge of baseball trumps all in his organization, and that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. When Ozzy was here, and even when Ozzy was here, Ozzy is still here. When Ozzy was with the White Sox, there was, he was fiery. Did he rub people the wrong way? Yes. But there was truth in what he was saying, and there was a message, and there was people that followed that message, right? I think that AJ could be a guy that can deliver that same type of message, right? Where everybody is bought in.
Yeah.
But the thing that I would say that's going to, prevent that is the interference from up top, right? You're going to they want a Grafal because Grafal is a puppet.
Yeah. Yes,
they want a Tony when he's just coming off a deal, because Tony's just going to be like, yep, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'll do whatever you say at this point. Like, they're always like, there's never a guy that's going to kick them in the nuts and be like, wake up, your organization is failing. And I think AJ, would be a guy not only that would be beloved in the clubhouse, but that would be that bridge between the players and up top, but delivering the continuous, like, constant message of, team first, right? Give a fuck about this organization, and every single day you have to give everything you have, because that's what AJ was.
Yep.
Essentially, right? So that's me.
So, to put it on to perspective of everything you guys said, is it like David Ross? In a way, yes, because he's a catcher. That's probably the only thing. Does he have managing experience? No. So those are your two similarities. The problem with that is that AJ was an ambassador for the White Sox. AJ got let go from being an ambassador for the White Sox because he started talking honestly about the White Sox when he would do the broadcast for Fox or FS1 or on his show Foul Territory. That's why he's no longer wanted there. So the fact that this rumor got out, and we're going to take AJ at his word saying he had no idea about this. We're taking him at his word. We all know who leaks information to Bob Nightingale. And that's Jerry. He has a direct line to Jerry. When Jerry wants to put out a message, he goes to Bob Nightingale. Bob Nightingale tweets it. It's another puppet. And that's exactly what that is, right? So you have AJ, and I really think it's like they're going to interview him. He's not getting the job because, like you said, he's going to go in there with that Ozzy mentality. I'm the captain. Get in line. And if you're not on board with what I'm telling you, you're getting off the fucking ship. It's as simple as that. And he's going to be just like Ozzy, fiery. He's going to hold the players accountable. And there's going to be times that he's going to take the bullet for the team, and there's going to be times he's going to throw a player under the bus. He's very old school in that manner. They will not hire Ozzy. They might interview him again, and I think that's a slap in the face if they even do. They should not even interview.
Yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't even go.
Ozzy's is fine where he's at on TV, having the best.
Ozzy's won in my eyes. Ozzy, that war between. You remember when you got fired and everything? There was a clear misunderstanding of where this team should go.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzie knew what in the clubhouse from what the players where to go. Like I think he knew best where to go. I might be wrong, and Ozzie, like I said, rubbed people the wrong way. But as you could see right now, they obviously have not found the same success that they had when Ozzie was still managing the team. It's not there, man.
Yeah. Ozzie's great on TV. Again, leave him there. He's one of the best pre and post game shows on TV. But the matter of the fact that there's another name that's been floated out there, and I don't think it's a good fit right now for a rebuild, and that's Terry Francona.
Mm-hmm.
I would love him to come in here because he's another old school guy that guys are going to play hard for. Look what he did in Cleveland. Look what he did in Boston. He can actually, he's a great manager. We don't have the talent to put for him. He's kind of like Bruce Bochy. We had the opportunity to go get Bruce Bochy when we had our core, when we, after 2020 and 2021 went to the playoffs. We had the opportunity. But no. They got La Russa. They got Grafal. They keep bargain binging shopping for this team. And it's just sad. So, Jerry, I don't want to hear about asking for money when you're not putting money on the field.
And in the actual stadium.
The stadium's fine.
I don't know. There's paint coming off of some areas of the place.
What are you talking about? Where?
Paint's coming off because they got shit on the field,
I saw chunks of cement falling the other way.
Oh, no, that's Wrigley. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's not go there. Oh, my God. The White Sox, I don't even want to check the score, but if they break the record, good for them.
Well, I mean, it can't be worse than 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah.
I turned off the alerts. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we're going to talk about our favorite Chicago team, which is our Chicago Bears. And it's time to get ready for the week. Yeah, that's right. It is the Chicago Bears. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15. TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z. We got JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. We got Stevie B from No Water on the Weekend Podcast. And we got Ivan the Bearable from TTNL. And, it's time to talk about our Bears team with something more exciting, something more upbeat. And we'll do this in 3 and out. Boom, baby, boom. This is game week, the Hall of Fame game versus the Texans. We have 3 darlings of the Chicago Bears getting inducted. Devin Hester, Steve McMichael, and Julius Peppers. I know he's not going in as a Bear, but he played as a Bear. So, boys, what are we excited about this Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, I think it's great to have some football again. It's been kind of sad here with baseball, like we just talked about, but I don't expect much. I think it's just going to be a nice little scrimmage, little push off. I don't think it's going to be that serious, considering I think it's just a fun. Hey, football's here. Remember us. I'm excited.
Oh, the 2 football guys. Go ahead. It's time.
I'm sorry. Something just happened in the Cubs game, and I'm fucking heated. Like, I'm really fucking heated. Sorry. Like, wow. That is That is bullshit. We'll talk about the JC if you want to just go ahead and
Why I even decompress this?
For me, I don't really get too excited about preseason stuff. Yeah, it's great to have football back, but at the same time, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't count towards anything. It just is what it is. It'll be a little exciting to see, Caleb out there for the first time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. Does he get a full half? Does he get a quarter? Does he get 2 series?
Yeah.
You never know. And, that's where I kind of get upset about the preseason nowadays is like, just get rid of it. Like, add the 18th game, get rid of the, preseason, which, yeah, I know it kind of, sucks for those guys on the roster bubble to kind of make their case, to be a player on the team. But at the same time, you're risking injury, which, there's already been a defensive end for the Cowboys with an ACL. There was another guy with an Achilles. So, I mean, you're already risking injury even in training camp. Now you're in useless games, which, I can't tell you how many years, I've watched Jordy Nelson or whoever get hurt in a useless preseason game. And then, you're sitting there ticked off, upset because you just lost one of your best players, So to me, it's just one of those where, yes, am I excited to see the future of the Bears? Yes. But at the same time, I know it's going to be a sloppy mess of a game with mostly backups playing. So, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's overall, you want to see Caleb Williams, but there's still questions about the offensive line. So, it's been a big question mark how much time Caleb will get, or will he play at all? I'm looking forward to just seeing, progression with the defense, progression with the offensive line, or trying to make sure you have a center coming out of this game. I'll say that because I think they need to hurry up and figure out which guy is going to be the guy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out that center position so we can go ahead and move on, or we can go ahead and address it by signing guys from the outside and seeing if they could gel with this team and with our new rookie quarterback, because having a guy that, having no center, the anchor of your line going into week 2 or preseason game 2, that doesn't sound good to me. Like, that doesn't sound like you're going to be prepared or have Caleb prepared. So they need to figure out how to solidify the offensive line. That's going to be one of the bigger things that I watch. And also the secondary. I think that secondary could be really special.
Yeah, that secondary, all the defense is going to be special. They were top 10. And Caleb is practicing versus a top 10 defense, right? Top 5 secondary, top 10 defense. So him struggling from time to time during the training camps or practices, that's going to happen with a great defense and a rookie quarterback. How does he bounce back, right? Do these preseason games really make a difference? Is it because they're wearing pads and they be able to hit each other? Is that beneficial to seeing the different schemes, seeing game like action for 2 series, a quarter, a half? How much of a benefit is it with that risk reward of someone getting hurt, right? That's the biggest thing, just like JC was talking about. So is there a way to fix it? Here's your compromise, make an 18 game, get rid of preseason and increase more what is that, shared practice, whatever they call it, joint practices with certain teams where they're practicing with no pads? I mean, is that the answer?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely go with more practices, against other teams. But then, how many times have we also seen during training camp where that turns into just a big fight between the two teams?
Yeah.
And then, they end up cutting practice short and all this other stuff. So it's kind of a catch-22 where, yes, I would say, hey, you invite the Patriots down, you work with them for a day or two. But at the same time, if it just turns into a scuffle every 20 minutes, we'd be better off just practicing against our own team, where guys know, hey, you're not trying to hurt your own teammate,
Right.
and everything else. So, like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm excited for the game. I'm excited for, our Hall of Famers to get their, time in the limelight. I know one of our Hall of Famers, will be kind of laid up in a hospital bed.
Right.
God bless him. He's hanging in there. He's gonna be able to celebrate it. He's well deserved. So, as for Julius Peppers, yeah, it kind of, you wish he would go in as a Bear, but he put more years in elsewhere.
Yeah.
But he did play for us, so we kind of get some credit, I guess. um, or it counts as one of our guys going in, maybe. Or as for Devin Hester, nobody's done it like him since. With the new rule changes, we'll see. Hopefully there's some improvement there with a return game again. Like I said, it's like a walk-off home run in baseball. It's a kick return is exciting. So, that'll be a fun part of the game to have back, where, like I said, one play can change the outcome of game. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to look forward to with these games, just because we miss football so much. And while it's great to have football back, we understand that once football starts, that means the summer is almost over. So that kind of sucks as well. We're looking at new transactions by the Bears. JC, what news you got there?
I don't know much about transactions, but some news coming out of camp is Austin Booker is showing some signs of life. I think he was 5th round pick. So like I said, I mean, huge news, because we've been asking who's going to be the defensive end across from Sweat. There's been talks of Walker, and Walker is the guy who was supposed to be the guy. But Austin Booker and Jacob Martin are getting some buzz out of camp, that they're really showing, some progress, and showing that, they have speed off the end, and that they, granted, the rumor is, everything is without pads on. So, the offensive linemen are kind of at a disadvantage. They can't grab onto you. They can't hold you. They can't do all that stuff.
Right.
But like I said, great news that a 5th round pick is showing that he can potentially contribute, not just, be a guy, that never sees the field. So, kind of that, hopefully better potential, like Leonard Floyd style, where, I know Leonard Floyd was drafted way higher than Austin Booker, but Floyd never really showed his potential with the Bears. And then once he got traded to the Rams, or went to the Rams, he started balling out. So, like I said, hopefully Austin Booker can be a guy that can be a number 2, potential number 3 in our system, and we can really get those guys other than Sweat producing some sacks for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting when it's one of these guys that are lower level actually start showing flashes of what they can do and being able to contribute. That's exactly what these practices and these preseason games are for to give them more reps, so that way they can shine. And then the Bears can start cutting their 53-man down roster to what it is. Speaking of a roster move, the Bears signed Demetric Felton to the 90-man rosters. They didn't have to release anybody because they were granted an international player exemption for punter Torrey Taylor to create a spot.
Genius.
I have no idea what that is. I know that's a new rule.
So essentially, the NFL grants for any international players, they don't take a roster spot. So it's freaking genius by polls, because he drafted an Australian kicker.
Yes.
And then claimed him as an international player. So he now gets to stay on the team as a quote unquote developmental player, which he's not a developmental player. He is our punter. Like we're not developing him. Like he is the guy. But again, because he's quote unquote an international player that we are quote unquote developing, he gets to stay on the team and he doesn't count as part of our roster for our training camp. So we get to add an extra guy and just claim our punter as, a developmental player.
You see how your face lit up when the Bears bent the rules for their way, but when my Dodgers do it, it's a big problem, huh? Big problem for the Dodgers.
Fuck the Dodgers, all right? We're talking about the fucking Bears right now, all right? Fuck the Dodgers.
Not only that,
not only that, but
it's in the rule book. So it's not cheating. It's in the rule book. It is allowed.
So same thing the Dodgers did. Same thing. Go ahead.
I'll say this. Torrey Taylor is not a developmental anything.
No,
Torrey Taylor is ready to fucking go.
You mean
I'm talking about 5 second hang times. I was there. I was watching it. Spirals off his foot. Spirals. And I'm talking about like as if they were shot out of a cannon out and then just fall perfectly. We're like, it's impressive to say the fucking least. And I'm talking about a punter. Bro.
Yeah, they got a lot of flack for drafting a punter so high, but guess what? He's gonna flip the field for them so well.
That was me. I was that guy, because literally, we talked about it 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago when we sit here and say, who's our center? Because Cedric Van Pran was there when they drafted the punter. So again, that was me. I was sitting there like, what are we doing? The center is sitting there looking us straight down the barrel.
Yeah.
And we took a punter, which again, I mean, we took the best punter in the draft, and the guy, like I said, Caleb claims he's not going to, need a punter very often, but at the same time, if you need a punter, I'll take the guy that can punt 80 yards. That's for sure.
Yeah. Again, Poles knows what he's doing. Let the man cook. Let that man cook. So again, I'm excited for what he's doing.
We kind of still need that center.
We do need a center. We definitely do need a center, but we've got time. We've got time. I
think Ivan's ready to go tomorrow. Ivan, you good to go ahead and fill that spot?
If they want to give me a fucking contract, I will go ahead and get my ass kicked for however long it takes
for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, for the next 3 weeks. Oh, I could long snap. I haven't snapped the ball from center in a long time, but I know I can still long snap. I did it the other day. It was a deep stretch, but I was able to get it off.
Well, I will be at Bears camp tomorrow. So I'll be there enjoying the nice hot weather and checking out what the Bears will be doing. So
I hope it's not muggy out like it was today.
It's gonna be disgusting. It's gonna be like 93 or something.
Ew.
That's okay. I'm all for it, man. It's the last. Go ahead.
Make sure, get all the tape that you can, because and if you go at a certain point, like there's like a certain spot like on the bleachers, because now they got awnings.
Yeah.
That you'll be able to get you'll be able to see it clear, because if you go up to the top of the bleachers now, which used to be the hot spot,
right,
you get nothing but awning.
Okay.
Like you can still see the players, but if you're trying to record shit, like forget about it.
So stay in the middle or stay to the side of the bleachers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna be ready for that to. Yeah, definitely be there up and early.
What time will you be there?
As soon as it opens.
Oh,
I
wake up early.
8:30. Get there. I got there at 8:15
at the parking lot.
But I would say get there at 8, because I think the first buses headed out at about 8. I think I headed out on the second set of buses, but no, yeah. I mean it was still enough time to get. I got myself a burrito from the taco truck, of course, and then we had time to go.
The taco truck that's in there. Yeah. No, I'm dropping off mom at the airport at Midway at 6 a.m. So I'm going straight from there all the way up to Lake Forest. So I will be there on time. ready to record. I'm gonna see if I can take an extra battery pack or something
Yeah.
for my.
You know, you go
phone.
to the mall. Going to the mall, right? The Hawthorne.
Yes, to the
Yeah,
mall.
okay, yeah.
Hawthorne Mall, right?
Yeah, it's just in me to tell because like we've brought out so many people and I have to like remind everybody. So like it's just in me now to tell Hawthorne Mall because some people will go to Hallis and be like, nope, get your
Nope.
ass back.
You can't park here. Any other Bears news you want to wrap up or anything we want to talk about or be excited? I mean, I think we should do a show on Thursday. Are you doing a show on Thursday, Ivan? Or we can just jump on your show. Let's plug your show.
That's fine. Yeah, we can jump on another Bear show. I'm planning on doing the pregame. I think I might do the first quarter, just like talking through it. Pretty much however long Caleb's out there, that's what I'm gonna do as far as like talking while the game is going.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys could jump on.
Yeah, definitely. Preseason.
Maybe next week we could talk about the United Center.
Do you mean the whole redevelopment stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. I mean,
You mean the project that's never going to happen?
Oh, that's going to happen. That's happening.
Yeah.
Which one?
I just don't know where parking is going to be. Honestly,
The 1901 project, that's definitely happening.
I think that's more
Wait for
feasible.
friends of the park to get involved.
But there's no parks.
There's
But
no parks. This is just the
It's
parking lot.
It's parking
They
lot.
still have something to complain about.
That
No.
might be true.
This is the reason that the green line
Killing all the weeds. Like, no, I'm joking. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, they just come there thinking about 2 weeks. Green line will be ready. The what? I can't hear you, JC.
You're gentrifying the neighborhood. Stop it.
It's already gentrified. I live here, dude. I'm 8 blocks from the United Center. It is very gentrified. So yeah, property value is gonna go up, parking's gonna suck, traffic's gonna suck, but that's what you get when you live next
Well,
to
from the sounds of it, they do plan on putting up a parking structure, in one of the parking lots. So, and then it looks like ice skating rink / park / whatever.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Steven. We're talking about it now. Essentially, it's going to be like Rosemont. Rosemont has their parking lot. They have all those restaurants there. They have stuff for the kids to do. It's exactly what that is. Where you're able to finally, someone's thinking, use the area 365 days a year, so that way money's coming in. So it's going to have a concert venue and all that stuff. It's just simple business. The reason it's going to happen is because they're putting $7 billion between the Wirtz and the Reinsdorf. That's why, because it's all private money. So wherever they're borrowing money, it's all they're liable for it, and nothing's coming out of the city. So of course the city's like, yeah, sure, we'll grant all these permits. Go for it.
This is more feasible than the shit that they're trying to build on the lakefront. I'll tell you that much.
I agree with that.
This makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Than fucking trying to do anything with that Kevin Warren's trying to do out there with the Chicago Bears. This is good. I'll say this. I like the White Sox movie. Was it the 78?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I just don't know how that fucking gets pulled off. But yeah, like this revitalize, or invest in the area around the United Center.
Right.
Why didn't you do this decades ago? Like,
Right. What I mean? Well, it was cheaper to do that.
Right.
You could have moved the White Sox across the street from the United Center.
Yeah. They sat with these parking lots and these huge empty spaces for decades, dude.
Decades.
You know what I think should happen? Big Z, I think your mom should raise your rent. And because this new area is going to be growing.
We'll be back next week.
Because you're only 8 blocks. You know what? I should talk to her. Sit down.
We're gonna kick him off.
Good investment.
There we go. He's been muted. Anyways, let's take a quick break and we'll come back with what you're watching. Nothing but I love shutting Steven up. But we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit
What
Clothing
happened
Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z. We got JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. We got Ivan the Bearable from TTNL Network and Stevie B from the No Water on the Weekend podcast. And this is one of our favorite segments here is when we're talking about what you're watching that isn't sports. And I'm going to let the nerd go first. Go ahead, Stevie B.
So I've been watching San Diego Comic-Con like a hawk.
Like a hawk.
Like a hawk. Man, was I really pissed off the other day when they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, and he's gonna be a variant. Like,
wow.
I don't
There's a whole
get
comic book based on
which is true, and I have the comic book. It's great. It's the mind switching of essentially Dr. Doom and Tony Stark go to college. They're roommates. Dr. Doom switches his brain with Tony.
Okay.
And they switch bodies versus Tony has done so much for Doom Industries, and Victor Von Doom takes Tony and he becomes an alcoholic, and then he ruins his life, and it's just a complete mess, and they eventually switch. But I just think I'm getting annoyed at this multiverse thing. I'm tired of different variants. I'm getting just tired of this
next phase is all about the timeline. She-Hulk is going to be timeline. Deadpool is coming back for a timeline. Avengers 5 and 6 is timeline.
That whole story would have been better if it was like, Tony Stark and Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, kinda.
Right. I mean, like,
it's just I'm just in shambles, and I did a post on social media, and it's doing really well. But I just have been watching it, and it's Doomsday, Avengers. I want give like the Fantastic Four not even going to be part of the sacred timeline, and it's just I don't know, but you'll hear more about it on No Water on the Weekend with Sean and me. And Sean's going to find a great positivity way to say, I love this. Give me more.
Of course.
So,
of course. All right. Like I said, let the nerd talk first about he had time. You need to vent.
Yeah. I've been doing it all week or last 2 days.
JC, you watching anything?
Deadpool Wolverine, which I guess we'll stay on that kind of.
I got the bucket in the cup, so
yeah, I literally watched it Thursday from the comfort of my own home, thanks to so it was very wonderful. Like I said, I didn't have to be bothered by anybody in a theater. I got to watch from, like I said, the comfort of my recliner. The only thing for me though is like, I really did not care for the story. Like, it was like, basically it's like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle had a better story than Wolverine and Deadpool. I mean, at least there was a plot.
I will say it's a bunch of cameos mostly.
Yeah, it's just like, let's throw as many cameos as we can. And then it's like, let's have a bro out movie, Which
I'm not against the cameo thing because a lot of it's something we've been wanting to see. I mean, with Wolverine and his mask, that's been 11 plus years. Things like that. But again, with the villain and stuff,
don't say too much.
Yeah. So
let's not say too much.
Let's just say
you didn't see it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Having a villain like in that movie.
I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of the same things that you guys are echoing.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anymore.
You're not missing.
I want to be disappointed all on my own. All right.
Well, I wasn't disappointed. I thought it was great.
The humor was great.
Yes.
Like I said, Deadpool and Wolverine, great. But like I said, the overall story was just like, is there a point to this movie? No, it's just
Hugh
Jackman and him like broing out for 2 hours. Other than that, there is another thing I watched, which I'm pulling it up right now. If you don't mind giving me 2 seconds, it is a new TV show about Rome. I think it's called.
It's on Peacock, right?
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
Is it Peacock? I thought it might be Peacock. But I believe it's called Those About to Die.
Yep, that's on Peacock. Yeah, it looks great.
On the cock.
Let me tell you, it's like Game of Thrones, but like about Rome, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
What was it called again?
Those About to Die, or
The Sword is My Cock. I think that's what it was.
Those About to Die, We Salute You, or something to that effect.
It's on Peacock. It's going to be the number one thing that pops up when you open it up, so you won't miss it out.
The cock is the number one thing that pops up on the Peacock.
Oh man. What else?
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, I could go over tons of stuff. Like I said, with my access to everything I can watch.
What a show off! I had to go pay money, and Sean didn't even reimburse me for the ticket, and I got a free popcorn and a drink. Cheapest date ever.
And he didn't put out.
No, I didn't want that.
Oh, there you go. The Boys season finale.
That was awesome. That was cool.
That was
the
great.
last song of the show was dead on.
Which I think we talked about The Boys last week. But again, because we were
That's
I
where you
think
were
me and
going.
Jose were confused that we thought this season was the last season,
got
but
one
I guess
more.
there's one more. Because I was like,
And
'cause
they're also
again,
making a prequel. If you were watching Comic-Con, like I was.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be Soldier Boy and the Lightning Girl, the one who got off in the
Nazi.
fourth one.
Maya Cash is the female actor who played again, she's a Nazi, but Stormfront.
Stormfront. There you go. Yeah. So it's going to be them two, The Rise of Vought. So it's coming out in 2026.
And then Cobra Kai was the last thing that I watched.
Awesome. Ivan, what you been watching? You get to watch anything else besides sports?
I mean, obviously, barely, but I did I rewatched something. It's actually, I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's White Sox related. It was called Last Comiskey.
Yes, on YouTube.
Yeah,
great series.
Fucking loved it.
Great time too.
Loved it. Yeah, loved it when I first saw it, and I was just like, man, like it kind of like blew me away with how, and it was only one season. So like, imagine if there was a deep documentary into seasons past, like or the history of the whole stadium.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 3-part series about the last season at Old Comiskey Park before they moved, and you got a lot of good commentary. Like it's you got all the players, Ozzy's there, you got all pretty much majority of the guys I would say that were on that team are guys that were fixtures on that team, talking about it, and it's a very well done documentary. It's non-profit, but I guess they did it during
COVID
pandemic and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is like, it was something that I was just like blown away by, regardless of the team. Like it was it made it intimate. It made you love Old Comiskey Park, even though I've never even fucking stepped foot in that place. And it's like, why isn't this here? It's like, it was very, very well done. So I rewatched that. Like, that's pretty much it though.
Yeah, I did watch that. It's a great series. My first game was that year of Last Comiskey.
How old were you?
7 or 8. That's long time ago. So, So a couple of just to reiterating a couple things. You guys watched Cobra Kai. It's 5 episodes of this last season. I thought it was great. I actually did enjoy it. It's a little corny, but it's a kid show. So, come on, it's again, those 5 episodes fly by. I did watch Wolverine and Deadpool. I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't think there was going to be a major plot because I thought this was going to be good cop, bad cop kind of thing that they were doing. And it's exactly what it was. Good cop, bad cop relationship throughout this scenario. And they had a task to complete and the story. And the only difference is that there's a whole bunch of cameos and you got to look out very, very keenly for a lot of these cameos because you don't see them. And I don't want to ruin it for some of the watchers, listeners, and Ivan, who hasn't seen it yet. But there is a cameo that I thought was hilarious because they incorporated a soccer player.
And there's only one post-credit scene. Just letting you know, you don't have to. There's only one. There's not anything more than that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that because I definitely would have sat there to the end. Bo, my son's going nuts right now.
Chuck said he watched Iron Claw. I watched that as well. I think that's a phenomenal movie. Yes, it's not dumb Texas family. Wow, that's they're a Hall of Fame family for wrestling. So I don't think they were that bad. But yeah, that Cobra Kai, Deadpool, Wolverine, and
I started watching My Name Is Earl.
I told you I watched the first season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There was like maybe 3 episodes in that first season that I thought fun. I thought they were funny. The rest were kind of.
They get better. Just keep going.
All right. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep
going.
I was gonna say Always Sunny. Like once Danny DeVito comes in, which I think is
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. When he first comes in and the guy steals his money and they're in the limousine and all that.
Yeah, it gets so much better after Danny DeVito comes on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, when they start calling him Frank is when you know it's you're in the money.
Yeah. Shout out to the Olympics. I got my American flag flying behind me. Also, these bad boys come out once every 4 years and for 4th of July. But I support the American team as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, I need to put on my red hat
right now on the TV. So if you are watching us, you kind of see me looking off. I'm watching the men's gymnastics team doing their thing right now on TV. So
give us a full breakdown next week.
It's what's on TV.
Men's basketball is doing really well. I guess they beat Serbia, so that's
Supposedly the women's basketball team is crushing.
I mean, other than Jokic, though, like,
meh.
Yeah, your kid said it the same thing. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Thank you. He said it for me.
All right, boys. I think it's that time. We're gonna retire, and you'll see our faces back on Thursday for Ivan's pre-show for the Bears game. Ivan, where can the watchers find us?
Well, they can find us at The Tape Never Lies on YouTube. You could also go ahead and become patrons at www.thetapeneverlies.com. They could also check me out here at 606 Media on Local Sports Tonight. And but Thursday night we will be on The Tape Never Lies. So go ahead and look it up on YouTube, save the date, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. You send me the link. We'll post it on True Chicago if you send me that link, where I can share it.
Yeah,
right.
I got you.
All right, boys. Thanks for chiming in. It was a great show. Love to having everybody here. JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. Follow him on Twitter for your football news. You got Stevie B from the No Water and Weekend podcast every Monday afternoon. There's a new episode. And so look out for his latest episode where he talk about Deadpool and Logan. You have one today?
Yeah, it's on there. Trivia is how well does Sean know Wolverine? So kind of different than what we did last week about how well do you know Ryan Reynolds. Okay. So Yeah.
I'll listen to it on the way over to Hallis Hall. And Ivan, what's your social so they can follow you as well?
Oh, Ivan V_TTNL on X. I really don't even go on X as much, but if you want to contact me in any way, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, yeah, that's one way.
All right, then. All right, everybody, that is it for today. Thank you for listening. And thank you to our listeners for sticking and supporting us through 205 episodes. And next week will be 206. Thank you to our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. You use our code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. So go ahead and support us. You can check us out on social media, TCSF Pod on Twitter, X. You can find us on Facebook, IG, at True Chicago Sports Fans. Yeah, again, you're listening to us on your Spotify, your Apple. Give us a review, 5 stars. It shoots us up on the charts. Again, if you love us on YouTube, again, same thing. Subscribe. Give us a like, some comments, give us some support, some love.
White Sox just took the lead, so you know what that means.
So bet against them. Quick, hurry up.
No, you know what you got to play.
Yeah. For them to
Oh, you know what you got to play.
That's right.
Hit the button, Jose.
Oh,
hit the button, Jose.
I can't play the whole thing.
YouTube, I know.
YouTube does it. All right, y'all. Big thank you to JC, Ivan, and Stevie B for this week's episode. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you next time for episode 206. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.